exploration in silver has always been very, very small compared to that of gold. Obviously, the gold price being 1,800 or 1,750 drives a lot of people towards gold. Yeah, there are more silver companies out there, but there are a minuscule amount of silver companies compared to that of gold companies. So there's a lot of room to grow in the space.
Welcome everyone to another Inside the Markets Extra. We are more than honored to be sitting down today with the CEO of Silver HAMR Mining, Morgan Lekstrom. Thank you so much, Morgan, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So as we come to the end of the year, what's new at Silver HAMR Mining?
Oh, so many great things happening. I think last time we talked, we were talking about our flagship mine, Silver Strand in Idaho, starting to do our drilling. We were talking about rehabilitating the underground, which we completed. And we have a drill underground and we have core in the lab right now. And we're just about to wrap up our drilling campaign for the year. So it's pretty exciting stuff. We just finished our geochem and mapping program at Silverton. Mapping and sampling program at Eliza. So many catalysts coming out in short order.
Can you tell us what the year has been like in the mining industry in general or at Silver HAMR Mining?
Yeah, I mean, we only started the company in May, and I joined the company in late June there, and it's been running. We started off strong with one asset, and we brought in two other high potential assets in Nevada. So for us, it's just been go go go. I mean, we don't stop. We tell the market we're going to do something, and we do it, and we've done that consistently over and over. The mining industry in itself, I mean, my background is in mining and building mines. It is busy. It's very busy on the exploration side. I think everybody sees the requirements coming up for silver and for these base level commodities like copper and zinc and lead and gold. So I know the labs are very backed up because they're very busy as well. So it's been interesting on the exploration side, that's for sure.
Can you tell us more about the requirements for silver and base metals that you see on the horizon?
Absolutely. I mean, silver is an integral part of solar panels. It's an integral part of electronics. That industrial metal use for silver is growing exponentially. I mean, there's some figures out there that it's going to 4x by 2030, and I believe it. You talk about electrification, electric cars, solar panels, green technology. Everything uses a silver paste, a silver solder. It's highly conductive. Like it's starting to replace other metals. So I think it's ripe for the takeoff here very soon.
And is that what's leading the exploration uptick in your view?
I think it's interesting because the exploration of silver has always been very, very, very small compared to that of gold. Obviously, the gold price being 1,800 or 1,750 drives a lot of people towards gold. But now the new industrial requirements for silver and the progression as society and as we move forward, that requirement's becoming more and more predominant, and people are starting to see that. So yeah, there are more silver companies out there, but there are a minuscule amount of silver companies compared to that of gold companies. So there's a lot of room to grow in the space.
How has the COVID-19 pandemic affected the space since, say, 18 months ago?
I can't speak for the operations. I know they've struggled through it. There were times a lot of operations around the world were shut down, so that creates a bit of a supply demand issue. For us, we had started on the back end of COVID, so we haven't really seen anything too crazy around it. I know it's changed some of our protocols, how we interact, and how we go to conferences and stuff like that. Now that we can go to conferences, it's really nice. But we weren't started before and during COVID, so we haven't seen a massive amount of influx or decline from that. I know the industry's been hit hard from it though.
Can you tell us about your region and jurisdictions and why they are strong jurisdictions or a region for mining?
Absolutely. So our flagship mine, Silver Strand, is in Idaho, about 40 minutes outside of Coeur d'Alene. Idaho is a very predominant silver mining jurisdiction in the Silver Valley. The large companies like Coeur and Hecla, this is where they've got their start. Those are like massive silver mining companies, massive mines around the area. It's the 9th best jurisdiction in the world to mine in. It's very friendly and amenable to mining, as well as there are mining families there. I've been on the ground. I'm talking to people. You go out for dinner after, and you're talking to people, and there four, 3 to 4 generations of mining in their family, and I've never heard of that. So it's really interesting the talent in Idaho and the ability to work with local jurisdictions, local folks like the Forest Service. Everyone seems very, very happy to have us there, and it's very, very nice. And our other two assets are in Nevada, and Nevada is the number one rated mining jurisdiction in the world right now, and that was rated in February of 2021 by the Fraser Institute, I believe it was. So very amenable to mining, very unexplored in a lot of areas. And I say that because a lot of people have explored these massive trends, the Cortez trend, and all these big trends. They kind of follow the gold, as we say. But there's a lot of area in Nevada that is historic, like some of our projects that have not been looked at, and they're easily accessible. Nevada is such a beautiful place. Like, when you think of Nevada, you think of a desert, but it's really great, and the people there are incredible. Some of these areas have been mining areas for just about 200 years, so it shows you the depth that and the reach that mining has in these areas.
Can you speak to Idaho and the growth that state has been seeing? There's mainstream news reports about the growth the cities are seeing. I think that there's a business growth, if not a business boom, across sectors from tech to other sectors. Construction comes to mind. Can you speak to Idaho as a business friendly state, especially now post COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I was just in Idaho last week. I was in Coeur d'Alene. I live in Vancouver, so I don't live in Coeur d'Alene, but it is stunning. It's beautiful. You're seeing an influx, and you talk to the locals a lot. You're seeing an influx of folks from California, folks from other areas that really love that outdoors. It's such an outdoorsy area. You have skiing, you have snowmobiling, you have biking and quadding and boating. Like, it really is an amazing area to live, and I think people are starting to see that. There's a lot of room to grow in each city. I know Coeur d'Alene itself has grown a lot. There's some very nice high-end homes, some high-end golf courses, amazing restaurants. So you put all those into a bit of a melting pot, and it attracts people. And so I think you're seeing a lot of people come to this area and realize how beautiful it is and how easy it is to live there. And it's attracting business. It's attracting that natural growth that comes with it.
And then how is it as a jurisdiction more than anything at an advantage compared to many of the jurisdictions around the world today?
Like I touched on, that ability to have mining families there, the ability to work with your local forest service, to work with your local regulators, having that legacy of 100 plus years of mining in the area, and having mines that are still successfully operating. The community seems very supportive as well. A lot of people work in the mining space there, so it's been a great pleasure to work with everyone there. I know the relationships that we are forming are going to last a very long time, and people are excited about a new opportunity coming in. Like, it's when you talk to people about what you're doing there, they're genuinely interested. They're like, oh, Silver Strand mine, yeah, I heard about that a long time ago. Oh, cool. You get that camaraderie feel, and it's been really nice. I've worked in a lot of jurisdictions in the world, whether it's Africa or Asia, or like Indonesia, Peru. I've been to many of them, and I have to say the Western U.S. is amazing. I love the African nations as well. I've had great experiences in every country I've worked on, but the Western U.S. is such a beautiful place to work, and the people are really excited. It seemed to me, anyways, really excited about what we're doing.
And then how about Nevada? I think Nevada has also seen a lot of growth recently in various sectors. It's actually changed a lot, especially in like cities like Las Vegas. It's always constantly evolving, perhaps. But can you speak to Nevada post COVID-19 and the advantages of that jurisdiction?
Yeah, it's funny. So I've only been to Vegas once in my life. I've probably been to Reno more times for work than to Vegas, and I'm definitely, driving to our site. It's a long drive. And it's from Reno. It's about 4.5 hours. And when you're in Nevada, that 4.5 hours, I don't think you see anything different. It's the same thing for 4.5 hours. But every small little town we stop in, they're just like entrenched in the community. I love it. And we stop there. You go to, you go to a local pub for a beer, or you go out for dinner, and people are interested in who you are and what's going on. So as far as like working in Nevada, we've had a lot of luck. Everyone's been extremely friendly. There's a lot of good geologists and geology firms out of Reno. There's good exploration groups out of Reno. Like it is really a hub for mining, I would say, in the world. And the university there in Reno has a specific mining programs. I mean, you've got monster companies in Nevada, Newmont Barrick. You have Kinross is like these areas don't host companies like that unless they're friendly, unless they're have very mineral rich deposits. So there's a lot of people in Nevada that I've talked to that really enjoy having mining around.
As we head into 2022, what can people expect from Silver Hammer Mining?
Oh, lots of good things, I hope. Catalyst coming out, results from Silverton, our sampling and mapping program. We only picked that asset up 2 months ago. So geochem sampling, any mapping, hopefully creating some drill targets for the near term. ELISA as well, sampling, mapping, near term drill targets, potential to use geophysics and new satellite imaging technology and really apply that new technology side to these deposits. And then Silver Strand being the flagship. We're drilling there. We've got core in the lab. Like there's a number of good catalysts that are hopefully going to come out of Silver Strand in Idaho very, very shortly. Obviously dependent on the lab's turnaround times, which can take some time right now because the industry is busy. So we're hoping to have some good results flowing over this next few months.
I've heard from several people in the industry that the labs are a little bit slow or delayed right now. Now, how about silver as we move into 2022? Where do you see the silver market evolving?
It's something you read about and you talk about with many different people. Personally, I'm not an analyst. I'm a mining guy. I think it's going up. I mean, the supply demand is there. The control it's been having in the industry, the way it's been manipulated a bit. I think that's going to come to short lived. It's going to be short lived very soon. Because of the supply demand requirements for it in going green and the green technology, the infrastructure upgrades. So I'd imagine, 30, 50, $100 is not a far off bet. But again, I'm not an analyst, and I preface this with that those are hopes, right? What the market does, what the market does. But support in 25 to 30 isn't unreal.
How much of that will come from industrial demand, do you think, compared to monetary demand?
I mean, there is a large monetary demand. There's a large investment demand. I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe it's like 40+% is industrial now. So it's climbing, and if that is 2 or 4xing over the next 8 to 10 years, that can show you how much supply demand issues we're going to have with silver.
We've had the honor of sitting down today on this Inside the Markets Extra presented by StockPulse.com with Morgan Lekstrom of Silver Hammer Mining. Thank you so much, Morgan, for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.